Welcome back. John and my son Oscar again here, making another video for information sake. I've had a lot of questions about the new VTM preamp pedal that we're coming out with where I work at, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of walk people through the VTM and talk about it just a little bit. And then before we're done, we're going to do some initial comparisons between the new VTM prototype pedal that my good friend Sean Cranon designed at work, and I had the concept for this a really long time ago, and a couple of years ago we had the 60th anniversary coming up, and we decided that it'd probably be a good idea to come out with a few different bud box pedals, and the VTM was the top of the list, and it definitely turned out to be one of the better ones, and it gave us a chance to take the TransTube circuitry that we've had since James Brown was there back in the mid-90s and finesse it and try to use it to mimic other tube amplifiers, because the circuitry is set up such that you can kind of adjust the gain stages in the same type of a way that you adjust tube stages, but there's a little more effort to it because of the transistors being current devices rather than voltage devices and that kind of thing. But there's a there's a discrete transistor circuit basically that translates to a tube circuit that we refer to as the TransTube preamp, and that's what the VTM preamp and the Rockmaster preamp both use. Now this VTM is one of the first real amplifiers that I had. I bought it at a place called the Rock House Trading Post here in Meridian back when I was in 12th grade, I think, and someone had accidentally ripped the line cord out of it. But other than that, it's bone stock. It's got the original Sylvania STR 387 power tubes and the Chinese preamp tubes that were so good that they used to have at the time. I've had this amp and I've probably put every bit of 10 or 15 hours on it. All the dust that's collected has been from the places that I've lived over the years. And I had to clean the jacks when I first pulled it out, and I found a cool trick. You can take a used 30 caliber barrel brush from a gun cleaning kit, spray a little simple green on it, and just stick it in there about half an inch and just spin it, come out, and any muck that's in there will come out. And then you can follow up with like the cotton brush and just kind of spin it in there. And then anyways, these even these small Japanese plugs had trouble fitting in there before from all the crud, because I doubt the effects loop's ever been used on this amp. But anyways, as you can see, it still has the extremely rare custom response modifications cover, and I'll take this off the rest of the way and I'll show you something pretty cool here. This cover, they usually get lost, but the back of it has like a graphical diagram of the 8-position dip switch that's underneath it. And I think it probably shipped like this, but anyways. And a real good friend of mine and mentor, James Brown, designed this amplifier back when he first came to work at Peavey. And I think he told me that it was the first amplifier that he ever designed. Kind of on the heels of the original Butcher that Peavey had, that Jack Sonemeyer designed, and it was kind of an oddly constructed Marshall killer, so to speak, kind of based on the JCM, I think. And then they had the idea to go back in and put this little bank of 8 dip switches to kick in and out these, just a set of real popular mods that the techs, so to speak, were doing out in LA at the time. And there's 2 different gain boosts. There's like a comp, which is like a diode compression type of distortion, a low 1 and a low 2, a mid, a high 1, and a high 2. And that's in addition to the standard set that you get like on a JCM 800. So anyways, that's about all there is to it. Unfortunately, the effects loop's not foot switchable. So what I did for my AB is I set this up on the input of both amps, and I put a key switch on the side of this AB box to where you could choose whether you opened or shorted the device that you're not using. So I'm going to keep it on short right now. There's nothing to the key. It's just I happen to have that switch. I probably built that back when I was pretty young. Anyways, without further ado, this is The audio is not going to be great on this, but since it's an AB, it's more of a relative comparison. And it's just basically to illustrate that you can mimic a real tube amplifier with a TransTube circuit. And this pedal may get finessed slightly more before we ship any of them, but it's real close. We showed it at the NAMM show, and it's already been released and they're on the way. But anyways, this is basically the amp, and it's I have the volume turned down because it suits the mic on the camera just a little better. Like I say, we're trying to do a relative comparison on the preamps. So we have the basic set of 5 controls and the 8 dip switches, and they exist on the pedal in the same way that they do on the amp. These earliest ones that went to the NAMM show have gray knobs. The real production units are going to have a tan color knob, about the color of this. Anyways, right now we're set at what you'd say is flat, with everything on 5, but I have the post gain on about 2, and none of the switches are engaged. Alright. Okay, that was actually the pedal was first and the amp was second. But you can see that they're fairly similar. The amp is probably slightly gainier here. Let's see. Alright, so that's your basic out-of-the-box flat tone. Now let's go in here and let's get just some basic EQ going. What I normally do on an amp like this, just to see how the chunk and chug is going to be, is I'd start by turning the lows up. So let's start out with the amp. To the pedal. Back to the amp. Alright, they're real similar. Now let's just engage a couple of the switches here. I'll do it with the amp on here. We're on the amp right now, so this is the gain 1 switch. Alright, and here's the pedal. With the gain 1 in, I'm hearing the pre-gain need to go back down to the same setting as the amp because it's a little gainier with that in now, but they're following pretty well. The pedal has a little bit more of a low, rumbling low end, but you know, you can attribute all of these things to the difference in different preamp tubes and different components, and this amp is almost 40 years old. And it's never had the caps replaced or anything like that. But it's stock, and you can see that the pedal and the amp, they pretty much follow each other so far. So let's try with the volume rolled back. we'll try some higher gain settings here. Let's go. Go back. A little bit of 7 on the gain. Adjust the post gain a little bit to account for a scratchy pot that I have here. So I'll go back and clean that later, but I think I have the volume level set roughly the same. And we'll try the comp. This is pretty interesting. It adds a little bit of a diode compression into it. The volume quite a bit, so we'll see. Exactly the same effect. Alright, we had a little break there. But anyways, the comp does about the same thing. It's like a little bit of a diode compression clipping circuit that gets kicked in. So let's take that back out and low 1. There we go, low 1. This is a little harder to do with a guitar pick than it is with a little screwdriver. I was using a little Phillips head because the corner will catch the dip switch there, but I guess a flat head probably would make a little more sense. As raucous as that sounds with this guitar at these settings, you can see that they're more or less identical. Okay, so just real quick, let's try, I remember high 1 being particularly nice on the old amp here, so we'll compare those two. Those are my lame test riffs for this comparison here. But anyways, as you can see, the TransTube circuit can pretty much nail the tube circuit from the input to the effects return. So that's the premise for the new preamp pedals that we're doing. They basically copy the amp, from the input point to the effects end or power amp input point on the original. So anyways, whenever you get a chance, check them out. They should be hitting stores really soon, hopefully by April or so. But I couldn't promise that. But they're real close, and they were pretty well received at NAMM. I think the VTM is probably my favorite of all. So I wanted to get this out there just to show people that scientifically they're super comparable, and you could pretty much save your back if you just wanted to get this for the sound of the preamp. And I think they're going to retail for about $199. Anyways, we just wanted to make a quick video about that, and thank you for checking us out, and please hit like and subscribe, and we'll be doing some really cool videos soon. I was able to stick one of these guys out of here, and I think I'm going to see if we can make this and this comparison next, kind of like we did here. But anyways, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.